Leigh, 4 Tony Zelli, 5 Mark Roach, 6 their skipper Dean Carroll, 7 David Close, 8 Wayne Proctor, 9 John Evans, 10 Graham Idle, 11 Ian Sheldon, 12 Audley Pennant and 13 Tony Miller. And the substitutes are 14 Tony Bowles and 15 Stephen Firth. For the visitors from Milton Park, it's at 1 Aaron Sawyer, 2 Keith Johnson, 3 David Cruikshank, 4 Ian Jeffrey, 5 David Hill, 6 Jason Donoghue, 7 their skipper Bob Beardmore, 8 Adrian Erner, 9 Andy Evans, 10 Peter Rapati, 11 Andy Collier, 12 John Myler, 13 Andy Sullivan, and their substitutes are at 14 Keith Waterworth and 15 Stuart Evans. Our referee this afternoon is Mr. Stuart Cummings from Widnes, and his 2 touch judges are Mr. D. Nathan and Mr. S. Evans. So these 2 sides met 5 weeks ago at Hilton Park when Doncaster were the winners by 20 points to 16. That game, like today's, is being screened on satellite television, so we have a 1 o'clock kick-off here at Tattersfield in brilliant sunshine, typical end of season weather, firm pitch, particularly hard in the centre where there's not much grass. So with the Leigh skipper Bob Beardmore to get proceedings underway. In fact, it's Jason Donoghue who gets the game underway. James Luluai, former Leigh player, of course, takes the ball from the kick-off, and Andy Evans gets the first tackle in for Leigh. So Sheldon going from Acton half-back. Both sides ravaged by injuries for this afternoon's game. Leigh caught offside in centre field. Andy Sullivan, the man penalised, and Doncaster get the first penalty of the game. So skipper Dean Carroll finds touch midway between halfway and the Leigh 25. First man in is Miller. And he stopped 10 yards short of the Leigh 25. Close now behind the play the ball. On to Sheldon. Bring in the number 8 Proctor. 3-man Leigh Tattle stops him. Sheldon now behind the play the ball. Close brings in Carroll. A dangerous long looping pass. Jeffrey got the tattle in as Carroll took the ball. Close behind the play the ball. Moves it left to Sheldon. Sheldon with the kick. Forces David Hill to turn and chase. But Hill does a good job of shepherding the ball over the dead ball line, and Leigh will get their first possession of the game. So Evans with the tap. First man in is Rapati. Rapati makes 15 yards before he stopped. So what can Leigh do with their first possession of the game? Evans brings in Collier. Collier gets past the first tattle, which was Evans. Now Adrian Erner on the charge, stopped 5 yards short of halfway. Beardmore goes left. 2 men marking the play of the ball, says referee Cummings, and Leigh get their first penalty of the game. So John Myler with the kick for touch. Fine touch. Once again, Leigh got a good following this afternoon at Doncaster. Evans on to Rapati. Rapati takes it into the home 25. Idle gets the tattle in. Leigh's first visit to Doncaster territory in possession. Erner to Beardmore. Fine break by Collier, just held up by Miller in centre field. Leigh looking promising here. Myler now out to Donoghue. Donoghue tries to take them on, but Carroll gets the tattle in. Myler now for Leigh, out to Sullivan. Inside to Beardmore. Dean Carroll the tattler once more for Doncaster. Leigh 12 yards short. Erner on the charge. Good charge from Erner. He stopped a couple of yards short. The position's there now for Leigh. Evans to Donoghue. Kick. Testing one. In fact, finds touch, goes right along the try line, but no one could get to it. Doncaster will get head and ball at the scrum. 3.5 minutes of the game gone here at Tattersfield. No points on the board as yet. So close to feed for Doncaster. Penalty goes Doncaster's way against the Leigh front row. And Carroll with the relieving kick for the home side. There's a bit of a breeze blowing. It would appear that Leigh are playing with it, I think, in this first half. Graham idle now. Makes 10 yards. Stopped by Rapati's tackle. Close behind the play of the ball. Brings in Proctor. Good tackling by Leigh again. Close once more. On to Sheldon. Brings in Carroll. On to Pennant, but Leigh read that one as well. Sheldon. Kick will come in from Carroll. Over the head of the Leigh defenders. Well taken by David Hill. Well kept in play. So James Luloy makes the tackle, and Leigh back in possession just outside their own 25. Beardmore goes left now to Sawyer. Inside to Jeffrey. Jeffrey gets away from the first tackler, and the second, and the third. Gets it out, but Beardmore couldn't take the pass. Referee will call them back for the knock-on. Fine break down this near side by Ian Jeffrey. Missed the game at Doncaster on Wednesday, bringing to an end a run of 87 consecutive first-team appearances for Leigh. But back in harness this afternoon. Certainly showing that Leigh are going to take the game to their opponents. Luloy though. Leigh's defence on top once again. Close behind the play of the ball. Looks to Carroll. On to Pennant. Pennant looking to run outside. Good tackle by Johnson. Came in well to read that one. And Leigh caught offside again in centre field. So Doncaster electing to tap it and run. Carroll ran out of ideas on that occasion. Sheldon to Proctor. Doncaster 5 yards short of halfway. Sheldon moves it left. Close, not the best of passes that one. Close goes right again to Carroll. Carroll puts it in. Juggled by Sawyer before he takes it. Sawyer tries to find a way up centre field, stopped 10 yards short of halfway. Evans now behind the play of the ball for Leigh. On to Wingman Hill. And he's stopped by Miller and Sheldon. And Leigh get a penalty, use of the elbow in the tackle. So referee Cummings trying to stamp his authority on the game in these opening minutes. We've had almost 7 minutes of the game. Still wait the first points. So Evans now on to Erner. Again, good yardage game by Erner. Stopped 5 yards short of the home 25. Evans behind the play of the ball, goes left to Donahue to Beardmore. Rapati gets a good ball out to Sullivan. Onto Cruikshank, and he drops the ball with the line at his mercy. A bad miss from Leigh. A great break again. That's 2 fine breaks Leigh have made, but not capitalised on them. Final pass being dropped again. So Leigh looking good in these opening 10 minutes, but nothing to show for it at the moment. Evans now. That seems to have spurred Doncaster a little, that. Kick comes in again. Sawyer takes that one, 10 yards inside his own half. Comes into Pennant and Luloy. Stop 5 yards inside Doncaster territory. But Luloy has taken a knock in that one. Pennant gets the tackle in on Jeffrey as well. Sullivan now. Onto Rapati. Rapati looking for the gap again. Evans now moves it right to Beardmore, to Donahue, on to Collier. Collier gets it out, Cruikshank drops it again. Referee says all on, Johnson picks up the pieces, and Leigh will get 6 more tackles on the Doncaster 25. Well, Leigh with a good line out here. Sullivan now to Miley, on to Rapati. Dropped by Evans, backwards again, said the referee. Inside to Miley. Miley breaks up centre field. On to Donahue, and Leigh are in. 9 minutes of the game gone. Jason Donahue's 3rd try of the season puts Leigh ahead by 4 points to 0. So John Myler assumes the goal-kicking mantle for Leigh this afternoon. 1 goal to his credit for the club so far this season. Certainly Leigh made the brighter start. I've threatened the Doncaster line on 2 occasions. Final ball going to ground, but in the end, Jason Donahue opens the scoring, and John Myler tags on the 2 points. 9.5 minutes of this 2nd Division fixture gone here at Tattersfield. It's now a scoreline of Doncaster 0, Leigh 6. Well, as I said before the kick-off, Doncaster have got to win this game to get in the Premiership playoffs next weekend. Leigh are already assured of a place. Skipper Dean Carroll with the restart from halfway. Missed by Sawyer, picked up by Jeffrey. Jeffrey takes it to the 25 before Miller stops him. Rapati now brings in Collier. Good charge from Collier. Good tackle coming in from Roach. Rapati now to Erner. Takes 3 men to stop Erner. Adrian Erner playing his first full game of the season. Came on as a substitute at Halifax, of course. Good kick from Myler. Taken by fullback Tomlinson just inside his own 25. 3 Leigh tattlers wait him. Good chase by Leigh. Now close going from acting half-back. Makes 10 yards. Just caught Leigh napping a little on that occasion. Carroll now, looking for a way down centre field. Stopped by Evans. Doncaster still short of halfway. Evans, terrible pass. And he finishes up in the arms of the Leigh standoff, Jason Donahue. So, Leigh certainly got the upper hand at the moment. What's Cruikshank going to do? Tattled by Carroll and Proctor. Beardmore goes right for Leigh to Myler. Long pass which Rapati drops. Picked up by Idle. Good tackle coming in from debutant Johnson over on the far side. And again he makes the stop on Pennant. And Leigh caught offside again. The referee coming, certainly keeping a watch on Leigh to play the ball. I think Bob Beardmore complaining that Doncaster are taking too long over to play the ball. Well, that's Doncaster's 4th penalty of this first half. But it's not a good kick. It's taken by David Hill, who gets Jeffrey away. Jeffrey looking for a way down centre field. Takes play back into the Doncaster half. Nothing going the way of the home side at the moment. Donahue now for Leigh. Out to Beardmore. Inside to Rapati. Again Rapati shrugs them off. Evans goes right now on to Erner. Erner gets it away to Andy Evans. Fine break by Evans. Tackled by Pennant on the 25. Collier now gets it out to Sullivan. Sullivan with the reverse pass. Jeffrey goes through the gap. Tries to sidestep again. Loses possession. referee will call them back for a scrum, 10 yards short of the Doncaster try line, and another good scoring opportunity for Leigh goes begging. Could have had 4 tries in this opening quarter of an hour, but they've got the only one that's been scored so far in the match, and they lead by 6 points to 0. So Doncaster win possession. Carroll tries to bring his centre into the play, Zelly. Sheldon now. Good line out here for Doncaster. But Pennant goes without the ball. An overlap of 6-3. So the scrum it just inside the Doncaster 25. Both scrums have gone Doncaster's way so far. It'd be more to feed for Leigh. So Leigh come up with possession. Out to Donahue. But Sawyer drops the ball. Leigh worked a good move. He worked the extra man and then dropped possession. So close to feed again for Doncaster. Doncaster win the scrum. Leigh come up with possession once more. Sullivan now on the response for Leigh. Tatler is Proctor. Leigh keeping the pressure on their opponents. That certainly looks a little forward to Peter Apati. He was coming up at such speed, he was there before the ball. Evans now to Sawyer. And to Beardmore. Collier tries to crash through. Gets the way to Donahue. Donahue stopped 10 yards out by Idle and Tomlinson. Leigh looking good again. Sawyer taking them on. Gets it inside to Miley. To Erner. Erner tries to use his strength. Stopped 5 yards short. Peter Apati waltzes through the paper-thin Doncaster defence, gets his 7th try of the season, and after 15.5 minutes, Leigh are ahead by 10 points to 0. So John Myler, what should be yet another easy conversion attempt, just to the right of the Doncaster post this time. No mistake from the Leigh second rower. So what a bright opening by Leigh, 16 minutes of the game gone, and it's a scoreline here at Tattersfield of Doncaster 0, Leigh 12. So Bob Beardmore trying to drive his men on. Leigh won't be satisfied with this 12-point advantage. They're eager for more points this afternoon. Carroll tries a grubber kick. Johnson takes that. Tattled by Pennant. Leigh up to the 25 once more. Evans dropped the ball. Referee missed it, but consulted his touch judge on the far side. You saw the incident. And the scrum will be on the Leigh 25, and close will feed for Doncaster. So Doncaster come up with it. A fine break by Tomlinson. Great defence though by Donahue. Doncaster's best attack of the game. Dean Carroll goes left to Close, out to Sheldon, to Pennant. Chance is lost, but they retain possession. Lee's defence holds once more. Doncaster right on the Leigh try line. And again, Leigh forced them back. Evans went on his own there. And Leigh are penalised in the end. And it's a try for scrum half David Close. Just what the home side needed, a quick reply. Leigh just a little over-eager, conceded the penalty. Doncaster Doncaster have taken advantage, and David Close has opened their account with their first try of the afternoon. So Dean Carroll lines this conversion attempt up. Ball being held by Graham Idle. He's wide on that occasion. It's his first attempt of the game. That's brought the home supporters to life midway through this first half. 20 minutes gone. Scoreline now of Doncaster 4, Leigh 12. So Donahue with the restart. Again along the ground. Taken by try scorer Close. And Evans and Myler the tacklers for Leigh. Oh, Sheldon now behind the play of the ball. Brings in Proctor. Again Evans as the tackler. Sheldon to Miller. Miller stopped 10 yards short of halfway. Proctor onto Carroll. Carroll gets the run around. Good defence though. He does well to get a pass out to Close. Fullback Tomlinson now. Great defence. Superb tackle coming in from Donahue. Just as the fullback was parting with the ball. And Leigh will get a head and ball at the scrum. Just inside Leigh territory. Brilliant sunshine this afternoon at Tattersfield. Leigh win the scrum. Donahue now out to Cruikshank. Cruikshank looking to take them on. Fine break from Cruikshank. Throws the ball inside. Picked up by Jeffrey. But the ball was well forward, really. On the first tackle, David Cruikshank probably been best advised hanging on to that ball. Settling for the position. But Leigh certainly looking to open the game up at every opportunity. Doncaster win their fifth scrum of this half. Good tackle by Sawyer though on Carroll. Oh, the game livening up now. Close to Sheldon, on to Miller. Tackle from Collier. Bringing Evans, but a high tackle from Collier again. Collier being spoken to by referee Cummings. That makes the penalty count now 6-2 in Doncaster's favour. Scrums are 5-2 in Doncaster's favour, but the all-important thing is the scoreline, which is 12 points to 4 in Leigh's favour. Well, Leigh don't want to lose their discipline, having got this good start. Carroll finds touch 10 yards short of halfway. Close with the tap. Brings in his wingman Sims. Sheldon now to Carroll. Good pass to Miller. What's the referee done? He's called him back for crossing. A very popular decision with the home supporters. Referee Carroll arguing, skipper Carroll arguing the point with the referee. Referee Cummings stands his ground. Says it was crossing. The Leigh player was taken out of the game, and Leigh will get the penalty. So John Myler will be looking to make sure with this kick. It's a fine kick by Myler. Takes play into the home 25 once more. Evans now to Beardmore. Onto Rapati. Tackler is Sheldon. The lead is 15 yards short of those Doncaster posts. Evans goes right now to Beardmore. Collier on the charge. And he's well stopped. Tackler was Pennant. Beardmore now. Sullivan, that looked high. The referee allows Doncaster to regain possession. Will squander the chance again. Proctor now. Myler the tackler for Leigh. Evans now, but Rapati and Myler wrap him up. Sheldon brings in Lulai. Good tackling by Jeffrey and Beardmore. Sheldon brings in fullback Tomlinson. Last tackle indicates the referee. Leigh have done a good tackling stint. Carroll with the kick. Taken well by Sawyer though. Runs across field into trouble. Tackled by Leigh in the end. But this is forward's chance to regroup. Hill forced to go from acting half-back though. Sheldon the tackler. So Ernan on the charge. Runs into Proctor and Sheldon. Evans behind to play the ball. Takes them on from action half-back. Stopped just short of the home 25. Positions there again for Leigh. Collier again, the man crashing down centre field. It's a good pass out to Cruikshank. Cruikshank stopped by Zelly, but Leigh just 5 yards short. Donahue now. Last tackle coming up indicates the referee. And Leigh get a penalty. Player on the floor. Ian Sheldon tackled Bob Beardmore. I thought the referee was right with that decision. The home supporters don't agree, but John Myler will no doubt go for 2 points. Players look pretty confident that John Myler's going to get this goal, as they're all heading back to the halfway line. In fact, Aaron Sawyer is under his own post, and I'm not quite sure that Leigh are playing with the wind in this first half. It's swirling about up here in this stand. Well, Myler just got it over the crossbar. We've had 26 minutes of the first half. It's now a scoreline of Doncaster 4 points, Leigh 14. Dean Carroll once again back at the centre of the restart. Takes a 12-yard run up for this kick-off. Where is it? Collier takes it out just outside his own 25. Runs into Roach and Lulawai. Leigh back in possession from the kick-off. Party now. Donahue juggles with it, tries to straighten the move up. Miller makes the stop. Hill now out to Beardmore. Beardmore forced to go it alone in the end, gets it inside to Evans. Leigh just lost their way on that occasion. So Beardmore looks for the kick from Myler. One to test fullback Tomlinson. Allows it to bounce, picks it up 10 yards from his own try line. Leigh got a good line of chasers. Stop him on the 25. Doncaster back in possession now. Desperate really for points before the interval. Roach. That makes 10 yards in the end before Evans and Myler stop him. Sheldon now. Stay with Evans. Certainly Leigh have done their tackling well in this first half. Carroll now for Doncaster. Brings in Miller. Fine break by Miller. Pass to Sims. Was just a little forward in my opinion, and Sims couldn't reach it, so a scrum it just inside the Doncaster half. 12 minutes of the first half remaining. Leigh 10 points ahead at the moment. Beardmore with the feed. So Leigh win the scrum now. Cruikshank looking to take them on again. So inside to Sawyer. Sawyer looks to straighten it up. Slips in the end. Tackled by his opposite number Tomlinson. Jeffrey now on to Sullivan. Sullivan runs into Pennant. Jeffrey goes right now to Beardmore. On to Donahue. Donahue looks to straighten it up. Doncaster up quickly on that occasion. Evans now to Myler. Inside to Erner. Good charge again by Erner. Takes 4 men to stop him. Last tackle indicates the referee. Beardmore to Myler. Myler gets the kick in. and finds touch inside the Doncaster 25. We have had a greater territorial advantage in this first period. And missed some good try-scoring opportunities, but still lead by 10 points. Close to feed the scrum for Doncaster. And Leigh are penalised. Coming out of the scrum before the ball. And Carroll with the kick for touch. So close with the tap. First man in is Idle. Good tackle from Erner. Close now, brings in Evans. Close behind the play the ball once more. Goes left to Carroll. Carroll gets the ball back. That seemed a similar move to the one which they were penalised for earlier. Sheldon to Carroll. Carroll forced to kick. It's the only way that Doncaster can get through at the moment. So it's a good kick though, because David Hill's forced to pick it up 10 yards from his own try line. Tackled in centre field by Close, but he's up to the 25. Beardmore now. On to Sullivan. Sullivan just couldn't quite find the gap as Pennant made the stop. But Rapati looks for one. Tackled by Sheldon. Donahue now. Beardmore, Sullivan. Collier looks to crash her way through. Can't get past Evans though. It's Lee's Evans. Beardmore to Jeffrey. Will either tackle it. Last one indicates the referee. Terrible pass, but Donahue looks to take them on in the end. And now Rapati. It's a good ball out. It's down with Donahue. Donahue puts the kick in. It's a chase for Johnson. Sims will win the race. Good tackling by Johnson and Donahue. Doncaster back in possession, but deep in their own 25 with fullback Tomlinson. Sullivan makes the stop. Tackle from Sullivan again on Evans this time. Close looks for Sheldon. Sheldon looking to release the ball. Did well to hang on in the end. Close to Carroll. Carroll with a sharp kick ahead. Well read though by John Myler. Sullivan takes it back for Leigh. 10 yards short of the home 25. Beardmore now. On to Jeffrey. Jeffrey sidesteps inside Pennant, but into trouble. Leigh up to the 25 now. Evans drives into the 25, sets the position up. Jeffrey to Sullivan. Sullivan gets it back. Rapati looks to scatter them again. Runs into Evans and Pennant though. Last one indicates the referee. Cruikshank to Myler. The ball is lost. All on, says the referee. Good decision by referee Cummings. Not appreciated by the home supporters. Beardmore gets it out to Cruikshank. Good ball to Jeffrey. Inside to Donahue again, and Leigh are in once more. It's a stroll for Jason Donahue. Leigh make the pressure tell once more. Just over 6.5 minutes of the first half remaining. Leigh ahead by 18 points to 4. John Myler with his 4th attempt of the game. Almost all in front of the Doncaster posts. Tags on his 4th goal of the afternoon. 6 minutes of the first half remaining here at Tattersfield. Stellar scoreline of Doncaster 4 points, Leigh 20. Dean Carroll. Takes the kick off. Taken by Johnson. So Leigh just outside their own 25. Evans drives up from acting half-back. Group shank now. Beardmore to Sullivan. Sullivan gets it inside. That was a high tackle by Carroll. On full-back Sawyer. Sawyer looks a little dazed by that. Carroll walks away from the referee in disgust. The penalty goes Leigh's way. It's now a penalty count of 7-4 in Doncaster's favour. John Myler with a kick for touch. In fact, he elects to tap, hands it on to Adrian Erner. Erner stopped just short of halfway. So what can Leigh do in these last 4.5 minutes of the first half? Apart it. And Carroll seems to have lost his rag a little at the moment. Throwing himself bodily into everything he can. Carroll makes the tackle on Myler on halfway. And Sawyer goes away from acting half-back. A fine break by Sawyer. Good tackle from Tomlinson, but Leigh on the charge once more. Move it left now with Beardmore. But it's intercepted by Roach. I think we all saw that one coming. Leigh now. Seen much of James Leigh so far in this first half. Can Doncaster get anything before the interval? Roach once more. Clears the 25. Close now on to Sheldon. Good line out here for Doncaster. It finds its way across to Sims. Good covering from Myler. Close now to Carl. Proctor takes the tackle from Beardmore. Last tackle indicates the referee. 3 minutes of the half remaining. Carroll puts in the kick down centre field. Sawyer takes it just outside his own 25. Defended by Evans, gone halfway. Collier now for Leigh. Idle makes the stop for Doncaster. Evans goes right to earn it. Idle and Carroll the tattlers this time. Reparted, looking to release the ball on the tattle, but 3 men have him. One of them's Carroll again. Idling on the stop as well. Donahue now, out to Beardmore. To Collier. Collier loses the ball, picked up by Pennant now. That looked high by Hill, but he gets away with it. Myler makes the stop on halfway. So, 2 minutes of the half remaining. Roach gets it out to Close. Miller on to Carroll. A long ball out to Zeller. Inside pass to Sheldon. A tackle from Johnson for Leigh though. Doncaster just inside the Leigh half. Looking for points before the interval. They're really desperate for them. Zeller drives into Ernest Tattle. Sheldon now to Carroll. Ball's dropped in centre field by Leigh. Chance lost from Doncaster. So Beardmore to feed the scrum for Leigh. Leigh come up with possession. Jeffrey goes for the break up centre field. Gets out of 2 tackles. He's still going. He couldn't find men inside him. So Leigh have really torn holes in this Doncaster defence in this first half. Leigh complain about the Doncaster player interfering with play, but referee Cummings calls them back for the knock-on. We're inside the last minute of the first half. by 20 points to 4 at Tattersfield. Doncaster win their 6th scrum of this first half. David Hill wraps up Mark Roach. Luluano brings in fullback Tomlinson. Hill in on the stop again along with Sullivan. I beg your pardon, Meyer on that occasion. Sheldon now. Inside ball to Proctor. Close cast away to Carroll. Drop goal by Miller. Referee calls them back for the knock-on. 10 yards outside the home 25. So move into added time at the end of this first period. It's been a good 40 minutes for Leigh. Can they get anything from this scrum? Be it more to feed. Leigh penalised. Second row feeding indicates referee Cummings. Carroll finds touch on halfway. So could be Doncaster's last fling in this first half. In comes Proctor. You've just got to do the tackling for this 6. Close goals from acting half-back. Evans and Erner, the tacklers for Leigh. Sheldon forced to go it alone. The line was too deep. Playing midway between halfway and the Leigh 25. Carroll now. Inside to Miller. He bounces off Erner. On to Evans. The chance is lost by Carroll. The referee calls them back, I think, to give Doncaster a penalty. We gave Doncaster a double advantage, and Carroll electing to go for goal. Well, Bob Beardmore is querying the decision as skipper. Maybe best advised not to argue with the referee. A high tackle indicates the referee on Hooker John Evans, I think it was. So Carroll, just about 3 or 4 yards nearer in from that far touchline than his first attempt. He's wide again. And the half-time whistle goes here at Tattersfield. It's a half-time scoreline in the Stonesborough Championship 2nd Division fixture of Doncaster 4 points, Leigh 20. For the second half of this afternoon Stonesborough Championship. Stonesborough Championship 2nd Division fixture. The last league match all from the kick-off. It was stopped by Evans and Idle. So what have Doncaster got to offer in this second period? Cruikshank is first man in. Takes it up to the 25. And Leigh can get their forwards going. Evans to Beardmore. Onto Rapate. Of the Doncaster post once more. 4 goals from 4 attempts in the first half. One from one in the second half. Leigh 26. So Carroll with the restart for Doncaster. Taken by Sawyer. Stopped by Idle on the 25. So what can Leigh do from this position? Johnson going from acting half-back. Makes 5 or 6 yards. Pennant is injured in making the tackle. Sullivan now, looking for a way round. Wrapped up though by Zelli. Evans now to Beardmore. Reparty appearing in the line. Scatters them again, gets it away to Sawyer. Onto the supporting Beardmore. Inside ball to Myler. Myler waltzes through a gap. Inside to Donahue. Onto the supporting Jeffrey. Brilliant play by Leigh. David Cruikshank in for his second try for the club. And Leigh running rampant. Just 3.5 minutes of the second half gone, and Leigh have scored the second try in this second half. It's now a scoreline of Doncaster 4, Leigh 30. Well, this patched up Leigh outfit is certainly producing the goods here this afternoon at Tattersfield. Basic rugby, supporting the man in possession, not prepared to stand back but to go at the opposition and take them on. And it's bearing fruit. 5 tries to 1 they've scored this afternoon. I know John Myler is by far the most difficult kick he's had in the game. 9 yards in from the far touchline. Well wide on this occasion, but 4.5 minutes into the second half and the game virtually over with as a contest as Leigh now lead by 30 points to 4. So Doncaster make 2 substitutions. Off goes scrum half David Close and loose forward Tony Miller. On come Tony Bowles and Stephen Firth. Johnson takes that ball from the kick-off. Stopped by a 3-man tackle on his own 25. But Leigh back in possession again. And Cruikshank looks to take them on again. And tackle is Firth this time. Beardmore now to Collier. Collier done with some waves, reparted, tackled by Bowles off the ball. So Leigh just outside their own 25. Beardmore now. Myler gets it back inside to Donahue. Donahue's in the clear again. Is he going to go all the way? He's looking for support. He's got Beardmore. Sullivan gets away from Zelli's tackle to Donahue again. Out to Jeffrey now. Jeffrey with the kick ahead. Chased, dropped by Sims. And the referee calls them back for the scrum. David Cruikshank now limping for Leigh. Not coming back into the play as Beardmore will feed the scrum. First half scrums were 6-4 in Doncaster's favour. Penalties were 9-4. Leigh won the first scrum of the second half. Beardmore looking to take them on. Cruikshank gets it back to Beardmore. Beardmore dodging a wave into Reparty. And Reparty is in. Peter Reparty's 7th try of the season, and it's just now a question of how many this Leigh outfit is going to score. It's now Doncaster 4, Leigh 30. Fast open rugby from the visitors this afternoon from Milton Park, and Doncaster have got no answer to it whatsoever. John Myler, 5 goals to his credit so far this afternoon from 6 attempts. This is his 7th, just to the right of the Doncaster post once more. So John Myler addresses the kick once more. The 6th goal of the afternoon. Makes the scoreline now Doncaster 4 points, Leigh 36. And Leigh are taking off Peter Aparte to bring on Stuart Evans. And Doncaster want to make a substitution as well. Want to bring Ian Sheldon off. Ian Sheldon has gone off injured and Tony Miller has come back. So Carroll with the restart once more for Doncaster. Taken by Johnson again from the kick-off. Graham Idle makes the stop. Leigh just short of their own 25 once more. Sullivan now on to Evans. Stuart Evans, that is. To Evans in the Leigh side now. Beardmore, a kick ahead. Donahue couldn't take it. Pennant drops on it for Doncaster, and it seems a while since Doncaster had possession. Here comes substitute Bowles. You've just got to do the basics now, do the tackling. Pennant behind the play the ball. Goes left to Carroll, on to substitute Firth. Evans now to Carroll. Carroll trying to jink her way through. That was well forward to Pennant, but he gets away with it. Pennant, I think, has gone into the right centre position now for Doncaster. Carroll out to Zellett, to Luluai. Luluai stopped 5 yards short of the Leigh 25. Zellett now. Donahue gets the tackle in. Carroll spreads it out to Evans. But Andy Evans is injured in making that tackle for Leigh. It's the last tackle. Carroll inside to Firth. Away to John Evans. John Myler gets the tackle in, and we'll have the first turnover of the game in Leigh's favour. Stuart Evans stopped 20 yards from his own try line. Beardmore now to Donahue. Donahue wrapped up on this occasion by Zellett. Beardmore taking them on. It out to Sullivan. Sullivan runs into trouble though in centre field. Andy Evans receiving treatment for Leigh. Stuart Evans now on the drive. Tackled by John Evans. Kick will come in from Myler for Leigh. Tomlinson turns, picks it up inside his own 25. Leigh penalised for offside. First penalty of this second half. Carroll with the kick for touch. Way above our heads, finds touch 5 yards in Leigh territory. Well, Sims takes the tap in the end, no one else wanted to know. And Stuart Evans makes the tackle for Leigh. Firth now, the home supporters trying to get behind their side. I know the game is lost, but at least they want their side to put some effort into the remaining 30 minutes. Proctor on the charge. They've got a good line out, Doncaster, but they're playing one-man rugby at the moment. Firth now to Carroll, to Miller. Miller stopped by Sullivan, just short of the Leigh 25. Evans definitely carrying a shoulder injury for Leigh. Ball's now with Bowles. Cruikshank comes up with it for Leigh. Stuart Evans goes from action half-back. Zelly makes the tackle. Myler now out to Erner. Erner surges forward, tackled by Firth and Evans. Sawyer now to Beardmore. Collier goes through the gap, gets it out to the supporting Cruikshank. Proctor gets the tackle in, and now Miller's down injured for Doncaster. To the hard ground beginning to take its toll. Sullivan tries to crash through but can't get past Idle and Zeller. Last one indicates the referee. Jeffrey now to Donahue. Donahue with the kick ahead. Well taken by Carroll. So Evans going from acting half-back. Donahue with the tattle for Leigh. Proctor goes from acting half-back. Erner makes the stop this time. Really, Leigh are so dominating at the moment. Doncaster is struggling to put a passing movement together. Leigh brings in Firth. Last tattle again indicates our referee. Carroll. Ball's thrown inside to Idle. And Leigh will get a turnover again. The end. Chances lost was come at 5 yards outside the Doncaster 25. So the game just gone off the boil a little at the moment. We've had 14 minutes of the second half. Leigh opened the second period with 3 tries in the first 7 minutes. But since then, the game seems to have just died. Doncaster win their first scrum of the second half. Miller well followed and tackled by Beardmore though. Leigh on to Proctor. Firth to Carroll. To Idle. Back to Carroll. Long pass to Tomlinson. And great tackle from Johnson for Leigh. Zealot. Carroll. Back inside to Firth. More intricate. On to Evans. Great chance here. Good defence though by fullback Sawyer and Cruikshank. So Doncaster was 3 or 4 yards out. Firth on the drive. 3-man Leigh tattle stops him, but he gets the ball out. An overlap here, but Miller forced back inside. He gets the pass out to Carroll, who kicks ahead. And the chance is lost, and Leigh will tap from their own 25. So nothing going Doncaster's way. Sullivan runs into Bowles. Sawyer on the charge. Tackler is John Evans once more. He's got through a lot of tackling for Doncaster this afternoon. Marley goes back inside, takes them on. Last tackle indicates the referee. Donahue now. Donahue gets it again. Backs it on. Still going. Referee calls them back for the knock-on. So Doncaster clear their own 25. Almost a break from Miller, but not quite. Carroll launches Roach on a run. Pennant behind to play the ball. On to Carroll again. Wide pass out to Zealot. Donahue half makes the stop. Stuart Evans completes the tackle. Ball's now behind to play the ball. Idle, Miller, Carroll. On to Leigh. Great tattle in. Wild pass finds its way though to Roach. Good defence by David Hill for Leigh. 5 yards short of the Leigh 25. Now Jason Donahue's taking a knock for Leigh. High one from Carroll. Well taken though by Johnson. Another good tackle coming in from John Evans. Sawyer trying the clearing run. Idle the tackler this time. Sullivan again tackled on the floor this time by Proctor, but Proctor got away with it on this occasion. Leigh got a penalty for that in the first half. Collier tries to straighten the move up. Carroll and Idle the tattlers. Jeffrey now. Jeffrey breaks, almost. Miller quickly closed the gap. Last one indicates the referee. Beardmore to Myler. Myler puts the kick in, finds a good touch midway between halfway on the Doncaster 25. Donahue fit to continue. A little concerned about Andy Evans. So Dean Carroll now feeding the scrums for Doncaster. Into the line comes Sims. Good tackle from Donahue. Zelly now brings in Carroll. Well, that was certainly didn't go backwards. The ball, it went sideways to substitute Firth. Zelly on to Carroll. He drops the ball. Cruikshank picks it up for Leigh, and Miller gets the tackle in. Oh, Leigh gone in their shell a bit at the moment. Beardmore tries to unlock the Doncaster defence down centre field, but it's that man Proctor this time. Evans runs into trouble. Dean Carroll going annoyed again off the ball there. Collier brushes them off again, but John Evans the tackler once more for Doncaster. Mile now behind the play the ball to Beardmore. Beardmore gets it back. Gets it away to Donahue once more. Donahue just stopped by Carroll grabbing his shirt. Last tackle indicates the referee. Sawyer now to Myler. Myler launches the eye up and under. Well taken by fullback Tomlinson. Now can he catch Leigh on the counter? No, good defence from Johnson and Andy Evans for Leigh on that occasion. Sims now. Johnson and Cruikshank the tacklers this time. Ball's on to Firth. Johnson on the tackle again for Leigh. And she's had a good debut for Leigh this afternoon. Zelly now. On to Carroll. To Pennant. Good defence from Beardmore and Jeffrey. Lulai behind the play of the ball. Carroll with the kick. Finds touch 15 yards short of the Leigh try line. Leigh want to bring Andy Evans off. Bring on substitute Keith Waterworth. So Leigh fast running out of forwards, but Andy Evans prepared to continue. Doesn't allow the substitution to be made. But Leigh win the scrum. Into the line comes Hill. Half stopped, gets up again, continues the movement. Tackled by Miller in the end. So Beardmore takes them on. Ball on, says the referee. Tomlinson tries to catch Leigh on the counter. Good tackle goal by Collier. Pennant from acting half-back. Good defence again by Leigh on the 25. Myler the tackle on that occasion. Firth now. Carroll. Big overlap here, but they make a right mess all on, says the referee. Inside to Sims. Cruikshank makes the stop for Leigh. Cruikshank stays down injured. Carroll gets a good pass round. Stay with Evans. Great defence though by Sawyer. What a tremendous tackle by the Leigh fullback. Carroll now. Out to Miller. And Leigh's defence holds once more as we come to the last tackle. Doncaster 5 yards short of the Leigh try line. Zelly out to Lulawai, to Pennant, and the Leigh defence holds again. And they get their third turnover of this second half. Burnett drives it in from acting half-back. Andy Evans still going despite the injury. Turner and Evans have taken the three player balls between them. Beardmore just stopped just short of the 25. Evans now to Myler. Myler puts the kick in over the head of fullback Tomlinson. So what can Paul Tomlinson do now for the home side? Sullivan and Myler the tackler. Doncaster supporters still trying to get their team going. Here comes Sims now. Firth on the charge. Doncaster giving it a go despite being down by 32 points. Zelly now, on to Carroll. Inside to Lulai. A fine break from James Lulai. Good defence again by Sawyer. With good support from hooker John Evan. If anyone deserves a try for Doncaster this afternoon, it's hooker John Evans. Attempt almost in front of the Leigh post. This is first goal of the afternoon to make the scoreline now. Doncaster 10 points, Leigh 36, with 14 and a half minutes of the game remaining. So lastly, you make the substitution. Keith Waterworth coming on to replace Andy Evans. So Leigh will have to reshuffle again. Jason Donoghue with a restart. Substitute Bowles takes that from the kick-off. Stuart Evans, the tackler for Leigh. So what can Doncaster offer in this last quarter an hour? Miller. Waterworth quickly in on the action with the tackle. Good line out here for Doncaster. Bowles couldn't take it. Johnson could. Cruikshank behind to play the ball. On to Waterworth. To Evans. Three-man tackle stops him. Waterworth now behind to play the ball for Leigh. Takes them on from Acton half-back, makes a couple of yards. Finally behind the play the ball to earn it. Look for Collier coming through the gap again. Zeller read that one well for Doncaster. Donoghue now. On to Beardmore. Miley to Jeffrey. Cruikshank to Johnson. Johnson can't outwit Sims though. The last tackle indicates the referee. Miley drives them back, finds a good touch inside the home 25, and we'll have to see what the Leigh pack lines up as now. Doncaster making a substitution. David Close coming back. In fact, Keith Waterworth has gone into the hooking role for Leigh. Nordley Pennant is the man gone off for Doncaster. So Doncaster win the scrum. Sawyer the tackler on Zelly. And here comes Proctor now. Carroll, good line out here as Bowles gets the ball. Good defence by Johnson, that looked forward to Sims, but he gets away with it. Good defence again by Sawyer, on to Carroll. Now with Idle, dropped in the end. The referee will have to come back. I think Leigh are going to be penalised for Adrian Erner. Obstruction off the ball. Adrian Erner is the man being called up. Incident tap right in front of us. Doncaster will get their second penalty of the second half. We have yet to have one. Obstruction off the ball indicates the referee. Dean Carroll drives Leigh back inside their own 25 once more. So 10.5 minutes remaining at Tattersfield. Firth drives in. Leigh stop him 10 yards short. Close behind the play of the ball. On to Idle. Collier the tackler for Leigh. Evans to Close to Carroll. Run out of ideas in the end, just threw the ball away. Zelli picks it up and he's stopped 10 yards out by Jeffrey and Sullivan. Close now to Carroll. On to Luluai. Ball is dropped. Leigh come up with possession. Skipper Bob Beardmore, the man picking up the pieces on that occasion. Jeffrey runs into trouble though. Clears the 25 in doing it. Now Waterworth behind the play of the ball. On to Evans. Waterworth to Beardmore once more. On to Erner. Charge again from Erner. Sawyer now looking to take them on, gets a great ball out to Beardmore. Pass inside, finds its way to Myler in the end. He gets it away to Waterworth. Waterworth inside to Jeffrey. Jeffrey looking for a gap down centre field. Still going. Jeffrey still going as the ball knocked out of his hand as he's tackled by Bowles. Tomlinson picks it up for Doncaster. It's out of 3 tackles. Not John Milas. Miller now. Close on to Carroll. To Luluai. Onto the supporting Proctor. Good defence by Erner over on the far side. Carroll. On to Roach. Good defence from David Hill. Doncaster on halfway. 8 minutes remaining here at Tattersfield. Carroll. Long pass out to Miller. On to Zelli. Drop goal by fullback Tomlinson. Picked up by Cruikshank and Zelli makes the stop. Donahue now to Beardmore. Evans with the surge, stopped by Idle. Sawyer behind the play of the ball now, looking to take them on. Firth half stops him. Idle completes the job. Waterworth. Beardmore on to Myler. Myler almost caught them out, but that man Evans it on the stop again for Doncaster along with Miller. Waterworth to Beardmore. Donahue drops it. Three calls them back for the knock-on. Just 7 minutes remaining for either side to get any more points. Doncaster 10, Leigh 36 is the scoreline at the moment. Close feeds, possession to Doncaster. Teams Luluai taking the Leigh defence on, but Sawyer and Jeffrey are up to it. Firth, substitute. Stop 5 yards short of halfway. Close now to Miller. Miller throws the ball away. Referee says it hit him. Sawyer called him back for the scrum. He gives the head and ball to Doncaster. Doncaster win the scrum. Very well stopped though by Donahue. Coach from acting half-back. Can't escape Sullivan. Close. Trying to launch Proctor amongst the three quarters. Carroll gets the ball back. Finishes up in the arms of Waterworth. Leigh back in possession. Evans from acting half-back. Firth completes the tackle for Doncaster. Waterworth now to Beardmore. Beardmore takes play into the Doncaster half. Donahue now attacking half-back to Sullivan. On to Myler. Again, Idle and Carroll tattle together. Forward to Beardmore. Leigh got away with that one. Last one indicates the referee. Waterworth with the kick ahead. Well, not knocked on, says the referee. Evans comes up with it for Doncaster. So we're inside the last 5 minutes. Zelli now for Doncaster, gets it out to man of the match, Tomlinson. Stopped by Collier. Tomlinson gets it out to Roach. Close now, brings in Firth. Good pass to Idle. Idle throws the ball away. Donahue picks it up for Leigh, gets it out to Cruikshank. Where's he going? Goes back into trouble, runs into Carroll. Referee calls them back for the scrum and gives head and ball to Leigh. The referee got in the way of Leigh's move on that occasion. But John Myler on the charge, is he going to go all the way? He could well do. In fact, he has. John Myler gets his first try for the Leigh club. Comes just under 3 minutes remaining, just over 3 minutes, I beg your pardon, remaining here at Tattersfield. Leigh's 7th try of the afternoon takes them up to the 40-point mark and now lead Doncaster by 40 points to 10. So Jason Donahue has now taken over the goal-kicking role for Leigh. He scored 3 tries in the opening 7 minutes of the half. It's taken them 30 minutes to get their next one. And Donahue adds on the conversion to make the scoreline Doncaster 10 points, Leigh 42. Well, Doncaster have had a better second half than they had first, but they've only got 1 try to score, 1 try to show for their efforts in each half. They have scored 3 tries in the first period and 4 in the second. And Johnson plays that one with his feet. And runs into his own player. And Evans is the tackler once more for Doncaster. So Waterworth behind the play of the ball. Evans takes it up for Leigh. All academic now with just 90 seconds of the match remaining of normal time. Will Leigh go for more points? All on, says the referee. And Donahue gets it out. Well, it goes back a long way before Myler picks it up for Leigh. It's it out to Cruikshank. Cruikshank goes back inside to Myler. We have so many players over, it's unbelievable. Sullivan takes them all on in the end, and his tackle just short of the Doncaster 25. Basketball stuff from Leigh on that occasion. Waterworth now to Beardmore. To Evans. Evans shrugs off the first one. Hits it back to Beardmore. To Jeffrey. Finds its way to Hill. Hill goes outside the wingman. Stop 15 yards out. And we're going to finish with yet another try. We're inside the last minute. Beardmore now to Donahue. On to Collier. Back to Donahue. Donahue tries to straighten it up. Loses possession. Waterworth picks it up, but the referee will call them back for the scrum. 15 yards out. David Cruikshank has gone onto the right wing for Leigh, limping. But Doncaster kept possession from the scrum. Alex Murphy, the Leigh coach, still urging his side on from the other side of the field. Now moving to added time at the end of this second division fixture at Tattersfield. Firth on the drive for Doncaster. Close now. Brings in Evans. James Luluai behind the play of the ball to Carroll. Puts in the high kick. Sawyer runs with determination and confidence. Who's to take them on, takes them all on. Can't get past fullback Tomlinson though, but takes it back to the home 25. Johnson now tries to burrow his way underneath, top 15 yards out. They're looking for their 8th try of the game. Sullivan now to Waterwith. Donahue takes them on again. Inside the 10-yard line. Sullivan. Sit out to Johnson. Ball is lost in the tattle. We've had over a minute of added time at the end of this match. He will either finish 5th or 6th in the second division as a result of this victory. And it'll be an away match in the Premierships at either Swinton or York, depending how other results score this afternoon. Doncaster get their 3rd penalty of this second half, and Leigh have not had one as yet. So it'll be David Close with the differential penalty. First one in is Proctor. Collier and Stuart Evans are the tattlers as the hooter goes to bring to an end the second division fixtures for both Doncaster and Leigh this season. It's the final scoreline here at Tattersfield of Doncaster 10 points, Leigh 42. Doncaster's tries, 1 each from David Close and John Evans, 1 converted by Dean Carroll. Lee's 7 tries came 3 from Jason Donahue and 1 each from Peter Rapati, David Cruikshank, beg your pardon.